recognize and preserve the Chumash tribal history, protect the area's rich biodiversity, including the world-renowned ecological transition zone. So this is an area where um, cold water from the north mixes with warm water currents. It's not so cold water currents and a warm water current in a transition zone. And the nomination also aims to open new opportunities for research and economic growth, including recreation and tourism. The nomination stretches along the 140 miles of Southern California coastline from Cambria down south to Santa Rosa Creek, uh, to the Gaviota Creek. And it includes the Arguello Canyon, and Nautilus has visited Arguello Canyon with the Channel Islands National Marine Sanctuary crew a couple years ago, and also the Rodriguez Seamount. And in addition to the nomination for a National Marine Sanctuary, this area has become also of intense interest for the sale of leases for offshore wind installations. So there are several companies that would like to install wind farms off this area because it has very good persistent wind, and there's a nuclear power plant off the coast here that is being decommissioned. So they're looking also for other power sources. So this area has a lot of interest just in the last 5 years. That's an interesting rock.
Yeah, a donut rock.
Yeah.
Gotta be a home for somebody there.
Prime
Knock,
real
knock.
estate.
I keep thinking, where's Guy? We've gotten into the really interesting rocks now.
Yeah.
Oh, for a
Not
Peninsula.
everybody's crazy like we are, awake at 2 a.m. Pacific time. uh, so I have a question for the Nautilus crew. Oh yeah, he's here. He says, I'm here. How do you guys do this? Working from midnight to 4 consistently.
I brush my teeth twice as often
Totally.
than I do on land because I sleep twice a day.
Yep. At least
Yeah,
twice.
I try to do a big sleep from 4 in like 5 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Same.
Yeah, that's
I don't know if I call it big,
and then
but
a nap, and like a 1-hour nap right before this one.
yeah, depends on what we have to do in between. Like sometimes sample processing will be beginning when I usually sleep. So sometimes I only get like a nap, and then the next day I'll do a big sleep.
Yeah, for
Hey,
science,
that
they're
has
all
2 gigs.
Yeah, all hands on deck when they get their samples up.
But I think most of us on this watch skip breakfast, which is at 7:30, and
Yeah.
so we end up making snacks before this watch or after this watch.
Yeah.
The midnight snacks.
Well, I will be joining you, Taylor Ann, in spirit, because after this watch for me, I'm getting ready and going actually straight into my lab. Tomorrow is today is one of the 2 days I get to go into the lab for a few hours this week. So I'm coming off watch, going to do a few hours of lab work, looking at a new sampler we're working on, and then coming back to get my sleep before the next dive.
Nice. Yeah, see, it's definitely worth losing sleep for. So
Can we zoom in on that pineapple looking thing?
Is that a mushroom coral all closed up?
Looks like it.
Yeah, but I've never seen one
Let's do
with
it.
the polyps all retracted.
Yeah.
All hunkered down and
Okay,
closed
thank
up.
you. Now this really looks like a pineapple to me. Thank you.
Okay.
Then, because I've never seen one with all the, yeah, the polyps all
Yeah.
retracted.
That looks more like a mushroom. Want me to slow him down?
Oh yeah, so there in the
think
screen
so.
is the one with the,
Yep.
oh, there's several with the polyps out.
Mm-hmm. You've got a good view of the stalk underneath the one that just went under the lasers. Give you a good view of why they call it the mushroom coral.
Some more time to look at stuff.
Yeah.
So Guy, I'm going to write a question to Guy in the, on the side chat.
Okay. Do you want me to bump more towards you or just kind of keep going on as is? I guess I can always drop down slope if you want.
I'm trying to drop down a little bit, but I'm not having much luck.
Yeah.
I'll drop down, see what happens. Tending to creep up.
Yeah. That's the kind of the way that it goes. Up is where we can see stuff.
Yeah.
It's great though. It's a great pace, I think.
I'm guessing we've come a ways from our last transect.
We have indeed, yep. 200 or 170 meters.
Well, if we're moving okay right now, would it be possible to set up and run the next transect now that we're back moving along the wall?
You're happy with it, Dan?
Something really great.
Sure.
Okay, we'll just continue on
Always pause.
as is. There's one of those multi.
Can we do a, do you want to do a lateral transect or do you want me heading?
Lateral's probably all we got with this slope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lateral sounds good.
Yeah.
That green round ball that just went by.
Is that the multi cheese? Yeah.
That's actually a Ladoncunia moon sponge.
Moon sponge. We had one of those. We sampled one of those. Okay, Taylor Ann, I'm going to mark here.
All right.
This is T4.
Yep.
I think I'll just keep going at this, even though the contour is like, you may end up going a little bit upslope on ours. I think I'll just keep going in this direction, because it'll be a bit variable.
So only nut depth.
That sounds fine.
Bridge nav. Let's add one more step to that 100 meters. 310. Thank you.
Hagfish.
Just so you know, right as we were getting that transect started, the V-link started dropping again.
Thanks.
really quite abundant with life here.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All kinds of different stuff tucked into all the nooks and crannies. Crossing my fingers for some more big fans.
Is that the current taking you like that?
Snailfish, right?
It is.
Oh,
Under
wow.
the screen.
Need to come the other way to it.
Yeah.
To ride the brakes for a while.
We're drifting. Tokyo drifting.
Yeah.
I have no clue what that means, but my son uses that term, so.
Yeah, what is Tokyo Drift?
That's one of the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a movie about car racing,
Yeah.
but drifting racing, where they slide the cars around.
It's set in Tokyo.
Okay, yeah.
But I think it has something to do with when you pull the brake and it causes the car to drift, just like what we're doing now. And Dan, when you said putting the brakes on, it made me think of that.
Yeah, it's a,
But this is called Herc drifting.
Yeah.
explain backwards a little to keep from drifting up the hill. So.
We've got a new type of sponge we're seeing here with these clusters of tubes. I think that's what we call usually the light bulb sponge, but I'm not 100% sure.
Can you say that again? Because I think your SPL.
Yep, my V-Link dropped again. So we're seeing these sponges that are these white clusters of tubes. They look kind of like an inside-out heterocony, and I think that's the light bulb sponge.
When you see one, just let us know so that, because I'm not sure what you mean.
Yep.
Thanks. Again, it's great to have you on this watch with your expertise. I love it.
I'm happy to be here. I always like the night shift watches.
Yes, you signed up for them. Nobody voluntarily signed up for them, except for you.
Usually when I go to sea with the coral group, when we're out with Liz's AUV, they run the AUV during the day because they need to be able to spot it from the ship. And so we always do the ROV dives overnight. So I'm used to the midnight to 4 ROV watch.
And what do you do to stay awake, Meredith?
I try to take a nap before watch, and then just make sure I got a good cup of coffee sitting on my desk in front of me, and then just power through.
Oh, here's a bunch of pretty pom-pom anemones, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And the green ball that's just to the left of the lasers is another moon sponge.
I can see why they call it the moon sponge. It looks like a moon rock. Is that why?
Yep. And it's got, if you zoom in, it looks like you can see craters like you would on a moon.
Mm-hmm. So maybe when we're not on transect, if we see another one, it will be great to see one up close. We can zoom in.
Absolutely.
We got a sample of one of those at one point, didn't we?
We did. I can't remember if it was that Pioneer Canyon or where was that?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got 2 deep sea sole, a little one and a big one.
They do have amazing pattern.
Mm-hmm. One of the most striking fish in the deep sea.
I think mahi-mahi have pretty striking pattern too.
Yeah.
Still going 0.2.
Or-
Do you want me to speed up to 0.3?
Sure.
Okay. See what that does.
Yeah, we should
Bridge nav.
try and do 0.3.
Increase speed to 0.3. Yeah, the ROV is still doing the correct speed. We're just balancing it up at the surface, so it gets ahead and then
Okay,
behind
thanks.
and all that. You know.
Yeah.
ROV drifting, doing Tokyo drift at 0.3.
Yeah.
No, it's called Herc drift.
Herc
Herc
drift.
Ooh, what's that fish rising up?
That's an
Is
that's
that a
an eel pout.
snailfish?
Eel pout.
Oh, an
That
eel
one's
pout.
an eel pout. Yeah, there's the one species of eel pout that tends to just hang just above the bottom in the water column like that.
And just drifts along, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's like a drift dive
Yep.
Total
Yeah.
drift dive.
along the ball. But it's sort of making itself available for a nice morsel of by a bigger fish, right? Seems pretty
Quite possibly.
vulnerable to be
Although
exposed like that.
normally, if we weren't here lighting it up, it would be pretty much invisible and off the bottom.
Uh-huh. We have not seen any octopus.
No.
No. Might be the first dive that I haven't seen one. There's still time.
Yeah, but I'll trade that in for having seen those paragorgids, those large corals.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Seems like a fair trade.
Mm-hmm. Big tanner crab there.
Kind of
Oh,
turning
here we
out
come
to
to a
be
big
a
rock.
zigzag transect here.
Yeah. Thorny head. Another big
Oh, one of those kind of
rock.
donut hole features.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah.
And corals lined up right on the edge of that boulder and a big sponge just in the lower corner.
Are these corals that we're seeing sort of trembling? Are those Swiftia or?
Yep,
You
a
see
lot of
them?
those are Swiftia. Right on the edge there, we had Paragorgia. This one that's kind of bottom right-hand corner of the screen now is Swiftia.
There's that pink coral we zoomed in on, the soft.
Yep, that's the Gersemia. That's just
Gersemia.
about to go under the lasers,
Yeah.
just below the lasers.
A couple of them in there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Another one next to the mushroom coral.
Some of this rock almost looks like carbonate. With that kind of crumbly, crispy texture.
Ooh, a different kind of sole. Is that a
Yep. That one might be a trolley or a Dover.
Dover have really small mouths, but yeah,
Okay, so
we are near the petrale spawning area. But I didn't know if they go that deep. I'm gonna look it up.
there's one, and I can't remember which that does that. The way it's sitting with its tail up off the ground, it's very characteristic, and I'm trying to remember which one that is.
Usually in deep water down to depths of 550 meters. That's petrale.
So we're deeper than that.
Ooh, yeah, look at that coral.
That's a
The fan.
peristanella. That's a really nice one. So we're back into some good coral here. These more complex boulders.
Bridge nav.
Big
Let's
short
add one
plan
more
going
step,
ahead.
100 meters, 310. Thank you.
Didn't we just see this feature here? This one sponge looks that we're that the lasers are just going past. We saw one just like it in that shape. Because I thought it looked like a nun cap.
Seems like it's facing the right way to catch
Yeah.
everything it can.
Oh, there's a Dover sole under the laser. Is that a Tanner crab, the one that sort of has smooth legs?
Yep, that's a groove tanner crab. There's something tucked under the rock there, but I can't see what it is. Swiftia. When we get into those bigger boulders, you get the more concentrated big corals, and then back out into these kind of rubble fields, and everything gets really small again.
Mm-hmm. But that makes sense, right? Because in this rubble field, it's less stable to maintain corals that can grow for that long. To grow to that size.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're always looking for big consolidated rock.
Stuff that doesn't move around every time there's an earthquake.
Yep.
Or even just with currents or, yeah. But this is a very, it's an active fault area.
Yeah.
Let me slow down a bit.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Bridge nav.
Should I come back down the hill to follow the contour? 'Cause
Decrease
we've
speed
been coming
to 0.2. Yeah, we can do that if you have the leash for it. It's kind of like.
up. Or are you just gonna go right across it?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking it wasn't too much. We went maybe 10 meters.
Yeah.
10 meters up. I think we started at 7.6 or at 6.6.
So Guy Cochran responded about that rock with the pock marks, and he thought that it might be from a boring invert. So an invert that would bore holes, but I'm trying to think of what kind.
Yeah,
There's some
through rock
clams.
like that.
That
There's
big
some
hole?
clams.
I think the smaller
Clams?
Oh,
clams, you say. Where are these?
Yeah, at least shallow there are clams that'll bore into kind of
Oh,
rock
I
like
see.
that.
I see what you're saying.
Well, mystery solved.
I don't know that there are clams here, but there are inverts that'll do it.
So we don't have to bring that rock back for Guy to check it out. It was too big anyways.
is that big rock that we tried to look inside of?
No, it was just right before that.
Oh, okay.
The one that we
Had little like bores in it, like little
thought was a
holes.
Yeah.
dead sponge at first.
Yeah.
I must have been distracted. Making notes on the iPad.
Another nice little peristanella right there.
There's a bubblegum coral, just a stick, couple branches.
Yeah, you'll get into areas in some places where there's clearly been a settlement event, and you'll have a bunch of the little paragorges that are all single sticks, and they're all exactly the same size.
So are they broadcast spawners or are they brooders?
As far as I know, they're broadcast spawners.
So would that be caused by one spawning event, or are you saying that that's caused by the geologic activity kind of resetting things?
When you see a lot of the ones that are the same size, we usually think that it's from some one spawning event, although in most of these deep sea corals, we don't actually know much about their reproductive systems other than just from studying like museum specimens. And except for a handful of like Lophelia that they've been able to spawn in the lab, very few coral larvae have been caught. So it's one of those, we're kind of going with the most plausible solution, but in very few of the species have like really intense reproductive study been done.
Yeah, I guess you're just extrapolating from shallow water species.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the soap dish experiment.
What was that?
We would put out these little arrays with a whole bunch of soap dishes. They're like built out of PVC and they're about milk crate size. And they had all these literally soap dishes. And there was different substrate in each one. And we would take them and stick them down.
To try to catch
if,
larvae, like the coral?
Yeah, see what started growing on them.
Wow. How long do you leave them down there for?
As far as I know, they're still there, but I think the plan was to come get them a year or two later. We put tons of them out. I like to take them on every dive.
How much further on this transect?
We're nearing the end, probably another 20 meters. Yep, 20 meters to go. And then from there, after we finish, we're just 60 meters, 70 meters from 3C.
Okay.
Yeah, Guy is noting that we've come up slope onto a flatter area.
We have, yeah. I was hesitant to pull off the wall, but we did end up going up about 10 meters on this transect.
Oh, that's fine.
I can, at the end of transect, we can
go back down.
hang left.
Has V-Link been a little bit more cooperative the last 20 minutes?
Yeah,
Yes,
the
it
last 20
has.
minutes has been
Okay.
pretty stable.
So what we could do is sort of move a little bit north, but stay off the flat area and just check around this sort of bend,
Sure.
if you will. Yeah.
Looks like it's still pretty steep going up north.
Yeah.
Or just west of north.
Right. But at some point we would like to do I guess a fly or a water travel across the fault scarp here to the other side.
Is that down to 3D?
Yeah.
Yeah, the slope might be soft enough that or subtle enough that we can see the bottom.
What's the depth change across the?
3C to 3D.
It's
Is 100 meters. Just about.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Are those 10-meter contours?
They are 10-meter depth contours, and it's 100 meters over a kilometer, so it's steep at first and then quite flat. I know we can be on the bottom for that bit. But. All right, Taylor Ann, we'll mark this the end of transect here.
Ready. End of transect.
4. All right, so we'll continue on this path until we get to around 3C, and then we'll go north to follow those contours as far as we want to go.
yeah. I think if we can find something on the steeper slope, we can investigate around there. Sort of on the edge and maybe find those ledges that are poking out.
Yeah. So I'll probably overshoot it with Argus. That way we can then face this way and go like that.
Oh yeah,
Great.
Might be good to drop down here while we're out on the kind of the pinnacle there.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You wanna
kind of go
west a bit.
Yeah, go west.
Like
bridge nav. Alter course to 250. Thank you.
I think this dive so far has had the most sustained current of any I've watched so far this expedition.
Gonna do a DVL reset.
Roger.
Say that again, Meredith, about the current?
Oh, I think so far through this dive, it's had the most sustained current of any of the dives I've watched so far for this long. Like, there's been periods of high current before, but this has been the whole watch so far has been high current.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe drop down and then move. I guess, is that north?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna drop down now.
Thank you.
Nice.
There's deeper looking stuff.
Yeah. It's looking to me like I don't think you'll have to blue water transit over it when you get down to the lower bit. We'll be able to drive on it. And maybe not the best visuals, but it'll still be something better than water.
Yeah.
Oh,
Skate.
there's a skate.
Ooh, skate. Is that a sharp
I think that's a
nose?
long nose skate.
Oh, long nose, long nose. Is there a sharp nose? Or is it the long nose? Am I just making up a species name?
I think it's the long nose.
Okay, the long nose. Which happens to be sharp. Ooh, this looks promising.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is.
Sometimes we see a uniform slope in the bathyon that matches on the seafloor, and other times it's just a lot of little outcrops and then smoother slopes and then outcrops again.
Nice rhabdocalyptus barrel sponge there.
Paragorgids.
Mm-hmm. There's another skate egg case up there.
Ooh, what's that down there in the shadows? We're coming up on it. It's a large heterocony?
Looks like it.
Yep, that's a nice large heterocony sponge.
I think you're a bit downslope. I'm going to have to pause.
Yeah.
It catches up.
It looks like it's got several tubes all kind of joined at the base.
I think once Argus gets on the other side of you, we'll alter course to 340 and go kind of north.
Roger.
Oh, there's a little snailfish just tucked behind that sponge. There he comes.
Oh yeah, I think it's we might see it if we. Oh, it's nice.
Sorry, below or I missed that part.
It's behind
Oh,
the
it
sponge.
just swam into one of the tubes.
Ah,
So we see pom-pom anemone. What is the very frilly, white, sparkly?
That is an encrusting coral
Over
called
the line.
clavularia.
Okay. Oh, there it is,
yeah.
There he is.
Zoom out
right on the
just a bit,
laser.
Steve.
Okay.
Perfect, thanks.
About less than 10 centimeters.
I'll pull up the
Just a little
camera
bit.
somewhere. You can put it on that one over there too if you want.
Oh, maybe
Keep
if
the
the
sub
snailfish
bottom up.
wants to be part of the picture.
Nice shot.
Posing.
Yes.
Nice.
So what makes the clavularia so sparkly?
Just the kind of texture of the polyps. They've got some dense portions of these white sclerites under there. So it's partially just refracting the light from the ROV and partially just the sclerites on the inside of the tissue.
Mm-hmm.
So right before we came on watch, they actually sampled some.
Oh, that's right. I saw that in the
Want to kill the lasers, Jake?
in the report,
Killing lasers.
and I wondered what is clavularia.
Yep, that's right in the center of the screen.
Yeah. So you're right, Meredith. At the end of this, I will know some corals and sponges.
The nice thing from all of these Zooms we're doing and with some of the still images we'll get back from the still cam and some of the screen grabs, a group of us, including Tom and Abby and Erica, a bunch of people who are helping on the watches here, are working on putting together a new species ID guide for corals and sponges for the Northeast Pacific. So hopefully for the next round of ROV dives in this area, there will be a new guidebook resource.
Great.
Sounds like a big
So
project.
is this yeah. So is this then going to be something that you can buy in a bookstore or online, or is this just a resource from NOAA Fisheries?
The goal will be to have it as a resource for NOAA Fisheries, but we're also hoping to have it hosted kind of online so that it can be continuously updated more easily than it can be as just a tech memo. And we're also partnering with some folks from Canada and actually the Alaska Center as well. So it'll cover the whole Northeast Pacific. Once the West Coast, right now, the West Coast Deep Sea Coral Program under the NOAA's Deep Sea Coral Research and Technology Program is in the midst of its field research initiative. And the next region to do a field work initiative is Alaska. And we have a lot of overlapping species with them. So we're trying to get the project set up so that it can be then handed off to the Alaska region and be kind of whole Northeast Pacific.
That's a wonderful idea. And this is a great shot. I like it, looks so different from this angle. Very nice. I think this is where the snailfish lives. It's not shying away.
Hanging out right around there. Looked like it was actually dipping inside the cones there a bit.
Can we zoom in a little bit on the
Yeah, hold on, Steve, I'll get closer. I'm miles away.
Thank you. It's a delicate balance, right, with this huge ROV and the current, and takes some skill.
And we're sticking the digital stills camera down the sponge there.
Yeah, we're trying to pirouette Argus around the top of as well.
Yeah, we are.
We're doing a lot.
Jake, is the porch light on?
Yeah, I can. Want me to kill it?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
sorry,
then it
what'd
has
you?
another vase underneath it.
Yeah.
What do you want to zoom on?
What is that brown on the inside?
That's a little dead spot of sponge.
Oh, not that interesting.
I'll just go for a general zoom in here.
That's great.
I'm not sure what she wanted to zoom on.
Just the inside.
Let's go. We'll go real tight here.
Oh, look at all the pores inside of on sort of on the rim.
Texture gets more and more complex.
So I was going to change course to 340, or I can pause here if you'd like to go further.
Pause for a minute. Let me get back.
Bridge nav. Hold position. Thank you.
Zoom out for a second, Steve. Thanks. Come on, Herc. Just trying to get the light back on it. Okay. Should be able to look inside there. You want to zoom in again?
Very pretty. Very complex structure.
Yeah. I always love with the zooms how everything gets infinitely more detailed and complex as they zoom in.
Yeah. This is wonderful. Thank you. And you can see that with all these crevices and complexity, it forms just so much more habitat for even smaller organisms, smaller animals that could use this as their place to live and hide and shelter. And
you get all kinds of little crustaceans and polychaete worms tucked down in these crevices and holes.
Try a full zoom there on the edge, Steve. Thanks. I think we've got Argus. Where are we?
Yeah, just about.
Pure width it around as well?
Yeah.
Chill for some reason.
Yeah, whenever you're ready, we can go up.
I don't know if we lost him.
no, we're here.
Oh.
Just
Are you
admiring the
talking
sponge.
Take it all in.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. There's just, yeah.
No, we can stay
Yeah, we
here
could
as
stay
long as you want.
for sure.
Or
No, it's fine. We should move on.
we're static at the moment.
Yeah.
Complete rapture there. Zoom in on the little Fish? What is he doing under there?
Freaking out.
Trying to hide from the light.
Oh, is that a spot
Hiding from
prawn?
the. That's not a spot prawn. It's in a sister family.
Okay.
It's a Pandalopsis
look-
of some kind.
Yeah. No fishery for it yet, or they're just not as numerous, or because it looks an awful lot like the spot prawn and completely edible.
Yeah, it looks very similar. There's a couple other species that aren't spot prawn that there is a fishery for, but I'm not sure this is one of them.
So that's a snail fish, correct?
Yep, snailfish.
And they have a little sucker on the bottom of their chin
Mhm.
that they can use to adhere to the rock.
Some of
And
them
that
will
hence
have
the
little
name.
barbels
Yeah, hence the
under
name
their chin.
snailfish. Yeah. They're very cute, I think.
Yeah.
This one isn't really showing its cute side that much, but there's sort of this rosy pink. Maybe it'll come over
Yeah,
here.
come back for you.
It almost with the depth perception almost seems like they're the same size, the shrimp and the snailfish, but I think the snailfish is larger. And I think there's only one species of snailfish here in California.
I think there are actually 3 or 4.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because there's actually there's a species that's much bigger than this. There's a couple other ones. So yeah, there's a couple. Because I think this species is one that doesn't get much bigger than this. But the blacktail snailfish can get to be, a good 10, 12 inches long.
Yeah, I think we saw a blacktail snailfish on another dive earlier last week or something.
And this is the rosy snailfish then?
I think so.
What is this one? Okay, yeah. You're right. I think we did see a blacktail the other day. And it was quite a bit larger. Okay, we can check out another rock. Unless, is there something that you want to see here, Meredith? Or zoom in
No,
on?
this is all good.
Or collect?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can keep poking around here now that we're off transect.
Bridge nav. (100 meters) 340. Thanks.
Got dark all of a sudden.
It's a cloud.
Yeah. What causes that? A cloud?
Yeah.
Amazing how sponges stay so clean on the inside. So.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it got so dark
It
because
almost looks like a...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
It got dark because I was trying to expose for the white inside of the sponge.
Oh, right. I was going to say that looks like the inside of a coconut.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
and then there's a Venus flytrap anemone on the other side.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, I think the boat's moving now.
We are.
Is that my hint, is it?
Well, Argus hasn't started.
Yeah,
I try to give it a little bit of a head start.
How would you explain this 2 ROV system, and what are the benefits of having it this way? Someone from
So I
the
can talk about,
Nautilus.
I can explain it, and I think Dan could talk about the benefits better than I could. But the way that we operate is we have 2 ROVs. So we have a steel cable that we kind of lower with a winch off of the back of the ship, and that at the end of that is a heavy weight that is an ROV essentially. So we are kind of dragging that around and penduluming it around in the water wherever we want Hercules to generally be. And then Hercules itself is on a lighter tether that kind of, you can think about it as a dog leash. It's bound to where Argus is, but it can kind of roam freely within that radius. And Dan's worked on systems where there's been single ROVs and dual, so I think he'd be better to talk about the benefits and drawbacks.
And before Dan, you explain that, so Argus is the heavier ROV compared to Hercules.
That's right. And another thing it does is it decouples the ship's motion from Hercules. So Herc has this smooth video we have here. But you can see in Argus, although we're not really heaving, we don't have heavy sea states right now, but Argus kind of takes away all that ship motion, so Hercules doesn't feel it. So that's kind of one of the main benefits of this. And then in our system, we also have, kind of an eye in the sky. So we have those cool views of not only the seafloor through Hercules, but we have a view of Hercules, of the seafloor, and we can get a broader context in general of what's around us.
And I think somebody switched channel 3, or
Yep.
if you're on the quad view, they're showing that cable that is connected to Argus. Whoever did that, thank you.
Yeah, you can see how taut that is, where it enters the water.
Yeah.
Compared to the
tether in
the
Argus.
tether. Yep, which is more buoyant and loose.
Yeah. So in the tether, you can see in the quad view, or in the it's channel 2, you can see the tether and how it's sort of dangling compared to the tautness of the cable that's connected to Argus. Okay, Dan, now you're up.
Yeah, so for this system, 2-body system, one of the unique things about it is the HD Zeus camera on Argus that can see Hercules all the time, which is really, really nice. For most 2-body systems consist of there's a big kind of a winch, if you will, in what would, like if Argus had a winch on it to winch the tether in and out. So you have a variable length tether, so you get the advantage of decoupling, but you don't get to see the ROV. And then, so you basically have a heavy vehicle at the end of your armored cable that you lower over the side of the ship. And yeah, it's one of the beautiful things about this system, having a $250,000 camera on Argus is one of just a handful of those cameras on the planet. The same one that's on Herc that we're looking at through the main screen.
It's the same camera, same type of camera.
Same exact camera, yeah. It's made by Insight Pacific, and they kind of pioneered those